You just said sorry to a stranger for bumping into them. You didn't think about it, it just happened. But the real answer for why you did that is far stranger than manners. Somewhere on a remote island, a tribe with zero contact with the outside world has a rule against marrying your sibling. Somewhere else, a group that has never seen a car or a phone still has a version of a wedding, still buries its dead with a ceremony, still punishes a killer inside the group differently than a killer outside it. They never met, they never traded ideas. So why do their rules line up? Anthropologist Donald Brown spent years cataloguing what he called human universals, traits, rules, and behaviors that show up in every known culture, with no exceptions found. Not dozens of them, hundreds. Gossip, jokes, grief rituals, a concept of fairness, a ban on incest, something that functions like law. That's not a coincidence. That's a blueprint. Here's the strange part. These aren't things a wise elder sat down and taught to everyone on earth at once. Nobody held a meeting. There was no memo. And yet the results are almost identical, over and over, in places that never once compared notes. So what's actually writing the rules? Your brain evolved inside small groups. Anthropologist Robin Dunbar studied primate brain size against group size and found a pattern. The bigger the social brain, the bigger the group it can track. Humans landed around a number close to 150 stable relationships, not a village, not a nation, 150 faces your brain can hold as real people with real histories, real debts, real grudges. Inside a group that size, cheating gets noticed. Stealing gets noticed. Marrying your own sister gets noticed. And it causes chaos because everyone is already related in some way. So the rule against it isn't a moral lesson someone invented. It's a fix. A patch installed by evolution to keep small tangled groups from collapsing into genetic and social disaster. Fairness works the same way. Anthropologist Napoleon Shannon spent years living among the Yanomami, one of the most isolated societies studied in the modern era. He documented something that looked nothing like a courtroom, and yet functioned like one. Debts were tracked, insults were remembered, favors were repaid, sometimes years later. Not because anyone read a law book, because groups that don't track fairness don't survive contact with other groups, and they don't survive each other. You are still running that code today. You feel a flash of anger when someone cuts in line. Nobody taught you that reaction, it just fired. You remember, with strange precision, the one time a friend didn't pay you back. You forget 100 kindnesses and keep that one debt filed away, because your ancestors needed to know exactly who owed what to who inside a group where trust was survival. You think you're being polite when you say sorry to a stranger. You're actually running an ancient conflict resolution script built for a world of 150 people who all knew your name. Here's the part that should unsettle you. Every stranger you pass on the street today, your brain is quietly filing. Threat, ally, neither. It's not judging you, it's not broken. It's doing exactly what it was built to do in a world that no longer exists. Cities hold millions. Your instincts were built for a village. That gap is where loneliness lives, where road rage lives, where you feel crowded in an elevator with 3 strangers, even though nobody said a word. So the next time you catch yourself keeping score, remembering a debt, flinching at unfairness, or apologizing to someone you'll never see again, know what you're actually looking at. Not a personality trait, not a quirk, a rule older than written language, still running quietly in you right now. You didn't decide to be polite to a stranger. Something far older decided for you 150 faces ago, and somewhere, right now, on an island you'll never visit, a stranger you'll never meet is apologizing for bumping into someone too. Not because they learned it from you, because you both inherited the same rulebook written long before either of you were born.